Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Yeah, audible now. Let's start. I think it started yesterday with this topic, students. Strategy, implementation, and control. So I explained this concept, meaning of strategy, implementation, differences. This we are done, na beta. ये किया था ना? Thrive, die slowly, die quickly, all that. Then I explained what is formulation, implementation, forward, backward linkage. This explained. Forward, backward linkage explain किया था? नहीं. Anyway, I'll explain once again. Pay attention, please. Let's start. Now, see, what is the question, students? What do you mean by forward and backward linkages? Huh? It's very easy. Pay attention. Yesterday, Bacha, while teaching you this topic, formulation, implementation, and control, I had said something like this. Formulation always precedes implementation, meaning first strategies are formulated and then we implement the strategies. Am I right? So, beta, first, if I formulate strategy and on the basis of the formulation that I've done, I try to implement the strategy. So formulation I'm doing in my air-conditioned office, and students, I am using my effectiveness. I know my strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So in that atmosphere, I make strategies, and I expect that the people who have to work on the strategies will work accordingly. For that, they may have to make some changes in the structure of the organization. They have to adapt the way I want them to adapt. So if strategy is formulated and then on that basis, implementation is done, that's forward linkage. Simple. But when I look at my implementation skills, so I'm aware of my implementation capabilities, and on the basis of my implementation capabilities, I formulate strategies. So I said in the first case, I am just formulating a strategy, and as I formulate, the people at the function level will have to work on it. And for that, students, they may have to change the structure, or they may have to do the things as I want them to do. But backward integration or backward linkage is what? I look at my implementation capabilities. I see which department of mine is better, strong. So on that basis, how I see my implementation skills, I prepare strategies. That time it would be called as what? Come on, backward linkages. Like take an example. You have done JK Shah classes. You all know we get lectures timetable on a Tuesday. Tuesday you get the timetable now. So a timetable is prepared on Tuesday, and then on that basis, teachers, premises, all this adjustments has to be done, and lectures are conducted in that manner. Forward linkage. What is backward linkage? JK sir says I have quite a number of accounts teachers with me. So I look at the strength that I have, accounts teachers I have in abundance. So I'll first keep lecture of account teachers. then followed by the other subject teachers. So you're making strategies looking at your implementation capabilities. If it goes the opposite way, it is backward linkages. Very easy, beta. See, forward linkages, what it says, kindly have a look over here, beta. If you can look at this particular illustration which is given up, this first box over there, it says what? Strategy formulation. And then there is an arrow which is going to my right hand side towards strategy implementation. That it is said is forward linkage. But then if I look at the first block of strategy implementation, and then the arrow is going towards my left hand side, the arrow says backward linkage. So beta, first I formulate, then I implement forward. What is that supposed to be? Formulation of strategy not affected by implementation aspects here. Implementation is completely determined and dependent on formulation of strategy. So how you have formulated, on that basis implementation has to be done. Many changes are needed in the organization for proper implementation. You'll have to change now. Reason is the person who made the strategy was in a environment, maybe he's devoid of what the situation is, ground reality is. So he's thinking from his point of view. And that is why Bacha, it says it may be needing changes in the organization for proper implementation. Kya bolta hai? Strategic plan determines the course of action and how an organization adopts for itself. For instance, the organizational structure has to undergo a change in the light of the requirements of the modified or new strategy. Same thing that I mentioned before. See, what is backward linkages? Here the strategy formulation process is affected by factors related with implementation. To put it properly, bacha, implementation capabilities are seen and then we do the formulation work. While dealing with strategic choice, remember that past strategic actions also determine the choice of strategy. Organizations tend to adopt those strategies which can be implemented with the help of present structure. Yeah. So when students, I am considerate enough to see my structure and then make strategy, that would be backward linkage. Such incremental changes over a period of time takes the organization from where it is to where it wishes to be. So which is good or bad? Both are good. It is only how you're functioning, students, in the organization. Maybe forward linkage may you are a bit adamant and arrogant. Backward linkage may you are considerate enough as such. Now the next question, which is very important, students, issues in strategy implementation. See, let's understand, beta. Very important question and difficult to write in the exams. Hey, beta, audible? I'm audible, na? Sunai de raha na? Someone wrote voice is breaking. So please pay attention. This is very important and I mean it. It's not very easy to write the answer. Question is, what are the issues in strategy implementation? Please understand. I know this. Better you understand. What is the idea behind studying this, Navacha? See, I said yesterday, making strategies seems to be easy. Strategy formulation is easy as compared to strategy implementation. In fact, in the last lecture, there was one sentence, if you remember, I had said 70% of the CEOs, see the sentences over here, 70% of the CEOs, 70%? 70% of the CEOs failed not because of bad strategy, but because of bad execution. So, beta, what we are studying now, issues in strategy implementation. So, bacha, if I say issues in strategy implementation, what do I have at the back of my mind? Okay, when you implement strategies, it is not as easy as it was to formulate strategy. So it is said that it is easier said than done. Many a times we say things, but then you realize when you work upon it, it's very difficult. Like take an example. I'll give you an example, Bacha. Issues in strategy implementation. Suppose one of the child over here, this voice, I am seeing him for the second time today, Nihal. Nihal Mathad, right? Nihal, audible? Nihal tells, ke, sir, this year in CA Inter, I will get all India rank between 1 to 10. So Nihal, be happy? Huh? Okay? All India rank 1 to 10. I mean, he says this. And he says, for this, I have a strategy that next 1 year, 365 days, or till the time his exams are there, I'll study every day 12 hours in a day. So this is said. This is something that he tells. Now imagine the first day he struggles to sit and study for 6 to 7 hours also. How he'll be able to study for 365 days? So it was very easy to say I'll get first rank or I'll get first to 10. I'm not saying he cannot get it. He can get it. Nothing is impossible. But better to do that, he says I'll study for 10 hours in a day, 12 hours in a day. I think that is difficult. Nihal, am I right, beta? 12 hours in a day you'll study? Anna bolo re, Nihal. Is it possible? It is easier said than done. Am I right, Niyati? Easier said than done, na bacha. Suppose Niyati says, I'll get first rank. Bahut acha beta. Parents are happy. I'll be very happy. But then to do that, you'll have to work hard. I'd said in one of my lecture, person says, I want to go to the heaven. So then die. It's as simple as that. So, bacha, to talk things, it's very easy. When the time comes to execute that, it becomes difficult. So, it becomes difficult to sit for 12 hours and study. That means there are issues in strategy. Come on, tell me, strategy implementation. Question is, sir, how do we overcome the issues in strategy implementation? I'll explain that, beta. Very important and interesting. See, take an example. Our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi ji. Second time when he was elected for the post of Prime Minister, he promised, he said, okay, I want or I will make India a $5 trillion economy. So, beta, when he says I'll make India a $5 trillion economy, we are a democracy country, beta, democratic, right, Tarun? So, what Pappu will say? What Pappu started saying? Chokidar chor hai. So, our Pappu would criticize him. It's democracy. Any dog can bark in the country. But when Modi said, I'll make India a $5 trillion economy, but one thing should be appreciated. When he says that, from that we come to know his intent. Intent ka matlab, bacha, we come to know his intentions. Intentions are good. Nihal says, I'll get AIR first to 10. Intentions are great. He wants to do good for himself. And beta, please, you get first, second, third rank, you do good for you. It is good for you. You are not doing for your mom, your dad, for me. You succeed, it is good for you. Today's life has become very, very competitive. So for a person, students, is not competitive, maybe this world is not good for him. No parent can leave a fortune for you all as such, unless and until your father is from Congress or some political party. what at the most they can give to you is good education. Then you should take care of yourself. Abhi imagine Modi uncle said, I'll make India $5 trillion economy. So opposition started saying, Feku, Chokidar Chor hai, he's just bluffing. We will not be able to achieve. So, but obviously doubts will be there. Reason 74 years of India's independence, we had become just $2.7 trillion. Think properly what I'm saying. From 47 onwards, students, we became only a $2.7 trillion economy in 74 years. So Modi ji wants to say next 5 to 10 years I'll make India from 2.7 to $5 trillion. So people will have doubts. People will have aspersions to what he says. So bacha, what is required? Please understand. You know, when you talk things like that, people will doubt. Kaise karega? So what is needed? Pay attention. You should make plans. Please understand. The first thing, don't just talk in the air, I'll make India $5 trillion. Show what plans you have in your mind so that India becomes a $5 trillion economy. Now, beta, when I say plans, you know, in India, we have a system of what, come on, 5-year plans. 5-year plans used to be made in the past by CPC, Central Planning Commission. Today, bacha, Modi ji has started in its place, come on, Niti Aayog. And Niti Aayog makes plans. Now, please listen. So Modi ko pucha, sir, how you will make India $5 trillion economy? He said, I'll make India $5 trillion economy by modernizing the agriculture sector, developing the industrial sector, and by also developing the tertiary sector. So beta, he showed us the direction by having the plans. Please listen now. Now this so bacha, person who's from the opposition party says, what, this anyone can talk. Modi will say, shut up man, listen. For the plan, I have made sufficient, come on, what is this? Programs. So uncle, what are the programs you have made? Simple. First program, industrial sector, I want to develop maximum. So industrial sector needs funds. I will tell foreign companies to come and make investment in India. FDI, foreign direct investment. I will tell foreigners to make investments in India in the form of FII, foreign institutional investors. The first FDI I'll bring, FII. Then I will bring, and that's very important, so what he said, I will see to it that in India there is ease of doing business. Ease of doing business means what? To start a business, you don't need to have many formalities, license, all that stupid rules which used to be there. I'll remove all that. Okay. So ease of doing business, FDIs, FIIs. Then I'll be starting, pay attention, make in India. I will start Skill India. So, bacha, these are the programs Modi uncle said I'll be having. Okay, agriculture. Agriculture. We will spend money on agriculture research. Agriculture output can be increased by removing the middlemen who are there. But you know now, middlemen are there, arhatyas. They take a lot of money from the farmers in the form of commission. So they'll remove the middlemen. So farmer gets more funds and farmers will increase the production. Tertiary sector will start financing, will give funds as such, and on the basis of funds will develop tertiary sector. Maybe imagine. So first thing he said, 5-year plans. Great. Then 5-year plan, students, he said, I have programs. Okay, the programs, sir. Then what? Then, bacha, on the basis of programs, uncle says, we have projects in the country. What projects? The project is something like this. Imagine. Tarun has said, Tarun, you start the Skill India program. What he's supposed to do? He's supposed to provide to the people of a country technical education. Why technical education, beta? Because people will be working in factories. They're supposed to be technically educated. So you're giving money to people, telling them start what? Giving technical education. Start ancillary industries, giving them loans. Why loans, bacha? So that they start small businesses. They start their own work. When beta you have these kind of arrangements, plans, programs, projects, khatak. Once the project is completed, imagine your program will start functioning. Once your project is completed, program will start functioning. Once your program starts functioning, you'll be able to achieve your 5-year plan objectives. And then students, obviously, maybe we'll become a $5 trillion economy. I said, Nihal says, I want to get AIR first. So Nihar is told how. Nihar says, sir, I have 6 months for the exams now. I will give for every subject 20 days. To see, plans are ready. He said, I'll study every day 10 hours. In that 4 hours, I'll study FM. 2 hours, I'll study tax. 2 hours, I'll study this. 2 hours, so beta, you have programs. Then you say, I'll start solving papers. So when these kind of thinking is there, then bacha, no one can stop you from achieving your vision. I mean, beta, don't just have plans, work on the plans. When Modi said the other day, I'll make 1 lakh houses for the poor people. So Pappu said immediately, Chokidar chor hai. Lare Pappu sun to sahi. Kaise chor hai? Modi said that same afternoon 1 lakh houses. So I will be constructing houses in which place? UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and one other state shoots. So 20,000 in all these 5 states. Then what? Then he said, I've given the contract also to builders to start constructing the house. That means, bacha, that 1 lakh houses which look to be an impossible task, he's working on it. So someone asked where the money will come from. So bola, "Arey Dokle, soon. I am the government, I am getting so much amount of money, come on, in the form of tax now. So hum dega na." There was a time Modi said, I want to have in a country at least 20,000 toilets for the people. Someone asked him, sir, you say $5 trillion economy, but there are no sufficient toilets. People you find on the roadside, they're doing all this nonsense. So, bacha, 20,000 toilets, such a necessity the previous government couldn't provide to its people. So what he did, he told companies of India, big companies, sir, you want to do something in CSR. What is CSR? Corporate social responsibility. So sir, do one thing. Please, every particular village, please construct 20 to 50 toilets over there. So see, just saying 20,000 toilets is different. Telling companies, preparing projects, telling the contractors, start working. Every contractor was given 3,000 rupees to make one toilet, and bacha, government spent crores of rupees. Today, bacha, Bombay mein they say there'll be strict lockdown. So when Corona problem happened, Modi said, don't worry, I'll give Corona vaccination to everyone. He's giving money to the company students and saying what? 38,000 crore, I said in my last lecture. Today, bacha is giving to the company 65,000 crore rupees. Why? Give it to everyone. You know, now from 1st of May, children above 18 years of age will also be vaccinated. So that is the way implementation has to be done. You talk of particular thing, it doesn't get converted into action. You have to work upon it. Okay? तो बेटा समझ में आया नियति अंडरस्टूड अच्छा देयर इज वन प्रॉब्लम इन दिस बेटा अंडरस्टैंड प्रॉपर्ली यू नो द बेसिक इशू दैट आई फाइंड इन स्ट्रैटेजी इंप्लीमेंटेशन इज दिस सोचो बेटा थिंक प्रॉपर्ली people at the corporate level now they conceive of an idea, they have a strategy, and this strategy which was on paper is conveyed to the people in the business and then the functional level. So imagine the CEO of the company made a strategy. He is the one who becomes what? Come on, tell me. The person who initiates a strategy. And you know what happened? The people at the functional level becomes father of the child. How come? What he had thought at the corporate level, the person at the functional level brings that thing into reality. So, bacha, corporate level said we'll make electric cars. He to just said we'll make electric cars. Who's making electric cars? Tell me. Chalo, bolo, bolo, jaldi bolo. Who's making electric car? Tell me. The people at the functional level. So most of the time, students, there is an ego clash. What ego clash? The people at the corporate level feel their brain, they developed something, and the functional level people are taking the credit. So, bacha, sometimes they don't like it, and because they don't like it, they don't cooperate. Such organizations fail. Please remember, bacha, in life that I should be replaced with we. In that organization where that we becomes important. Success is not, bacha, because of one person. Please remember. Success is because of the efforts of every person. And I want to tell you all, bacha, you all are good students. Please remember, if at any point of time, bacha, you feel you got 90%, 95%, maybe 100% also in any of your exam. So your contribution in that may be only 10%. How come 10%? Obviously, your teachers, you get your point, your friends, your parents, the environment, the books that you use, all those things help you to get what you want in life. So never be in that particular ego. It's always we. Let's read this, students. Pay attention. Issues in strategy implementation. Please understand, beta. And remember the examples that I said. If you want, you can note down over there. One example I said is Nihal wants AIR 1 or 10 rank. For that, he says, I'll study 12 hours in a day. Yeah, they're not 12 hours in a day. This is what he says. But when he sits to study for 3 hours only, Nihal starts feeling what? Come on, tell me. My back is paining. He says, my brothers, sisters are disturbing. Then Nihal will say, sir, RCB match is going on. Then Nihal will say, sir, I want to watch Deepika Padukone's movie. मरो फिर दीपिका अपना पैसा लेके जाएगी रणबीर के साथ में तेरे को क्या मिलेगा forget it. You got the point what I'm saying. So if these things interest you a lot, then I'm sorry, beta, you're fighting a losing battle. Now, see, strategy implementation is not just formulating the strategy. बात मत करो, काम करो. You know, important. A strategist. So again, देखो the last point in this. Implementation of strategy is not limited to formulation of plans, programs and projects. Not limited to formulation of plans, programs and projects. You make plans, programs. Now work on it and transfer the authority. But if every authority the boss keeps with himself, then how will people at the lower level be able to do the work? Not possible, na beta. Getting my point? See, projects would require resources. After resources have been provided, it would be essential to see that a proper organizational structure is designed. Systems are installed, sorry. Functional policies are devised and various behavioral inputs are provided so that the plans may work. Best student, this is the way the explanation that I gave fits into this particular four blocks. Kindly pay attention. See the first block, it's typed very small. Just try to read that, student. First block says strategy formulation. Think properly. So you make strategies first, then break that strategy into small, small parts, plans, programs, projects. The moment you start completing your projects, your programs will be done, plans will be achieved, and formulation gets implemented. So see, beta, please listen. Strategy formulation. This is a statement of intent, intentions. When I was preparing this lecture, I was talking with my son. So he liked one particular thing. He said, Papa, Narendra Modi, we don't know whether how much he is educated, but one thing is very sure, Manmohan Singh is more educated than him. But Manmohan Singh never said, I'll make India $5 trillion economy. Modi said this. And should I doubt that he'll not achieve? But I'm doubting myself now. When Kapil Dev went in the 83 World Cup, if I would have said India would win the World Cup, then some people would say, Pagal hai sara. India is 8th in the rank. And India did win. बोलते ना बेटा सपने देखा करो. You should have dreams. You should think out of the box. In life, beta, if you want something which you have never achieved till now, then you have to do something what you have never done till yet. Always remember that. See, formulation, it's a statement of intent. It does not, what it says, statement of intent, it does not lead to action directly. So it's just the intent. Now you have to work on it. So beta either example de diya. Strategies to make India #1 by 2020. It should be actually 2030. Now strategy, see the next block, it says plans. Plans should be developed from, strategies. Plan is a mechanism to activate the strategy. So bacha, when you want to drive a scooter, a car, you have to put the keys now and then give the ignition. So bacha, that is plans. Plan, how do we achieve to make India #1? See the plans in the second box is given modernization, education, infrastructure. So you'll be doing that with the help of modernization, education and infrastructure. Then see programs. Programs, kya likha beta? Programs should be developed from plans. Program include rules, procedures and stages to be taken. So what it says, programs could be what? Research and development and foreign tie-ups. And then on the basis of programs, we should have projects. See, that's written. Programs should be divided into projects. Project is a specific program with predetermined time and cost. It helps in proper implementation. So projects could be what? Come on to see this. Projects foreign tie-up for constructing ultra-tech modern city in Delhi by 2021. So it's just an explanation. But this is the way you're supposed to do it. Okay. Now, what are the problems that are there? Pay attention, please. Now, let's see up. Problems in strategy implementation. First is project implementation. How will I implement the project? Please remember, Modi Bacha one day said what? In India, we have, pay attention, railways. Yes, Then he said we have what? Metro rail. Yes. Bombay में I don't know Bangalore बच्चा but Bombay में we also have that mono rail. Bangalore में है mono rail? नहीं. तो बड़ा बॉम्बे में there is one mono rail also but third class है नहीं चलता बराबर. Very few people travel but now they'll develop now. So one of the speeches he said railway, metro rail, mono rail. Now I'll have bullet train. Oh, bullet train. So बच्चा it will travel at a speed of what? 320 to 400 kilometers per hour. My God. 400 kilometers per hour मतलब निहाल क्या है? Bombay to Bangalore is 800 to 1000 kilometers. So if I come in train, imagine I come from Bombay, I can take a lecture and then go back home as such in the evening. Eh, na? 1 day, 2 days I can come students, same day I can come and go. That speed it will travel. The first question people are saying, पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? Then people said, sir, train किधर चलाएगा? जगह है क्या? Then people will say, sir, what about the environment? Then bacha, people would say, what, if you want place, there are temples in on the way. There are masjids on the way. You'll have to break that. So will people accept it? So these all problems are there now, beta. So what problem? See, here the third point, it says resource allocation. Paisa, sape, money, vitamin M, first problem. Then project implementation, procedure implementation. Procedure implementation means what? There are so many authorities, we'll have to take permission from them. Structural implementation. Structural implementation का मतलब क्या बेटा? The structure of the economy will get changed. Some particular farms are there, on that the train will run. Some place people are staying, there are buildings, there we'll have bullet. The problem, functional and behavioral implementation. Getting my point? Now, see, बेटा ये जरा देख लो. Managers and employees throughout an organization should participate early and directly. What is the meaning of this sentence? Please have a look. Managers and employees throughout an organization should participate early and directly in strategy implementation activities. Please listen. I said over here, what do I mean? If you want to implement some strategy, don't just come from your office and say from tomorrow we'll start doing like this. When you're preparing some strategy, take your people into confidence. Very important. Imagine I'm sitting in my office, I'm working. Boss comes and says, Girish, tomorrow you have to go to Bangalore to take lecture. Bola, pagal hai? I will not go tomorrow. Why? My son's birthday is there tomorrow. I will not go. Why? There can be any reason. Na? It would have been so good that had it taken me into confidence, ki Girish, you have to go to Bangalore when you want to go. And then these bosses are very clever. They say, I feel you should be going on the 20th of this month. Then I can say, okay, Shiva, your birthday, beta, we'll celebrate later. So that should be the approach. So managers and employees throughout an organ should participate early and directly in strategy implementation activities. Please understand. So they should participate. Then what it says, come on, strategist genuine. Personal commitment to implementation is necessary and powerful motivational force for managers and employees. Too often, this is important, too often strategists are too busy to actively support strategy implementation efforts, and the lack of interest can be detrimental to organizational success. What it means, come on, read the sentence properly. Please read this. Once I just put on the AC beta. Yes, please. See what it says. Managers and employees throughout an organization should participate early and directly. Too often, strategists are too busy to actively support strategy implementation efforts, and their lack of interest can be detrimental. Beta, I was telling you like this now. I make a strategy, then when the functional level starts working now, I go and stand with them. Then, bacha, it's a very good thing to do. That's the best thing to do. But then, if I in the ego that I thought of it, and they'll take the credit, the relations get spoiled. Then, bacha, nothing good will happen. Be very clear. Firms need to develop competitive focus at all hierarchical levels by gathering and widely distributing competitive intelligence. So, beta, this part, please, I hope it's clear. We'll start with the next topic now, strategic change. Okay, सुनो अभी ये थोड़ा difficult है, ये आना चाहिए बेटा. And then Kurt Lewin's change management process. Difficult means difficult to write. Concept is not that easy. But I'll make it simple, try to understand. Where is Harshita today? She not come? Harshita came jo. Majama? Very good. Chalo. Majama. Beta, pay attention, all of you. Strategic change. Nihal, समझ में आ रहा है? Understanding? Sure? चलो बेटा सुनो हाँ. Strategic change is also, I'll make it simple, but understand, writing this question, ka answer becomes a bit difficult. So how to understand? I'll write something over here. After that, you please note down that properly. So what is strategic change? The explanation should be like this. Every organization prepares a strategy. So every organization does strategy. When I say, I mean, they formulate strategy. They prepare strategy. Achha, once they've prepared strategy, what they do, come on, tell me. they implement strategy. So beta, strategy is formulated, strategy is implemented. Now after implementing the strategy, what happened? We start moving in a particular direction. Now my aim was that I should be going in this direction and should be able to reach to this point till the time this arrow ends over here. Pay attention. Now what happens? I have formulated, I've implemented, and then I realize I have been able to reach till here only. So there is some problem. So I made a strategy, I'm working on it. I wanted to go from this point to this point, but I'm able to reach till here only. That means there is something wrong that has happened. Please understand. And when I'm not able to achieve my goals, my objectives, then beta, what I should do? What I should do? I should bring a, come on, change. That is why it is said now, please understand, things do not get better by chance. Things do not get better by chance. Things get better by change. Tarun, समझ में आया बेटा? You wanted to achieve something, but you are not able to achieve. You know what is the problem, beta? All of you understand. We discuss at times at home. So my son tells me, Papa, is it that successful people never fail in life? I said, no, beta. Who says like that? Successful people also fail. But then they don't repeat the mistakes that they had once committed as such. So successful people are those people who do not repeat the same mistakes again and again. They are those people who change. And who are those people who are unsuccessful? Acha, unsuccessful people never taste success, they taste success. But then they commit one mistake. After that, they commit the same mistake again. That means they don't change. So, be very clear, students. I put another statement, understand? And you'll all agree with me. It is said everyone wants change, but nobody wants to change. Niyati acha tha na? Everyone wants change, but nobody wants to change. And please, beta, if you have some preconceived notions in your mind, if you have some thinking in your mind, and these thinking have been developed over a period of time, and beta, you don't reform yourself, then I'm sorry, you will not succeed. You know what happens? I'll take an example. Huh? There's a child, let us say our friend Nihal. Nihal pretends that he's studying. Maybe he's studying, he's listening. But many a time, students, some particular children, what they do, when they start studying, they start solving those sums and accounts which they already know. So that subject which they know, they study that subject. The sums which they know, they practice that. Acha, when they start solving the MCQs, the answer of the MCQs they've already tick marked. And many a time they feel what? When they're reading the MCQs, they know the answer in advance only. So what are they doing? They're doing the same mistake. And then this particular kind of a child gets 70% and keeps on getting 70 only. So who's the one who gets at 90%, 95%? They don't study things which they know. They study things which they don't know properly. They'll study those chapters in which they are not comfortable. And bacha, let's be very clear, even impossible says now, I'm possible. So, change is today. Can I say, chalo tell me bachalo, change today is the only, what, come on, constant. Niyati acha hai na, change is the only constant means what bacha? If I don't change with the change in time, Change will throw me away. Yes. Change is the only constant and change is the only essence of progress in today's world. The moment, students, you become rigid in life, you're putting a full stop on your growth. I said, don't be rigid. Rigid matlab bacha, in Hindi we say, murda hota na, dead body. The dead body is rigid. We are human beings. I write status in my particular mobile phone. So I say the best exercise is when you bend a little to lift someone. So bending a little to lift someone, may bacha, what is happening? You feel your ego is not important, but that person's ego is more important. Get the point? If everyone in India starts thinking like that, this place will become a good place to live. Change. So, Vita, let's read this a bit. Strategic change. You can write over there, bacha, please. Change is the only, come on, tell me, change is the only constant. Write that one sentence which I said, students. Everybody wants change. Come on, complete it. Everybody wants change, but nobody, come on, wants to change. Okay, please pay attention. See, we start with this particular saying, anything doesn't get better by chance. It gets better only by change. And be very clear, why change? Because when you're not able to achieve your goals and objectives, and you continue with your old rotten practices, then better, sorry, the changes in the environment, see what it says very clearly, the changes in the environmental forces often require businesses to make modifications in their existing strategies. Give me an example, come on. You know, my neighbor student is a Shetty. He has a restaurant, a beer bar, you know, big person. But 6 months, 8 months of the lockdown, whenever he used to meet me, he used to be always upset. So I said, Bala, Anna, kya hua? What happened? Sir, धंधा नहीं है, होटल बंद है. 40 people, 40 लोग होटल में काम करते हैं, उनका पगार देना पड़ेगा. Salary I have to give, but I'm not earning anything. So क्या करूँ समझ में नहीं आता. Then his wife comes and says, सर इसको बोलो ना होम डिलीवरी वाला फूड देना चालू करने को. मैं थोड़ी करेगा. अरे change, that is what is needed now, na? And now just 10-15 minutes, I think before the lecture started, he met me. He was very happy. Anna, white shirt, white pant, so much of spray they apply. This shit is as such. I wonder, I said, you don't take bath or you take a bath with this particular spray only as such. Na, itna scent laga ke jata hai, so much of gold ring. That's our home delivery must chalta hai. So change lana, Anna. The way you were doing business, bring some change because the environment is changing. Na. Corona. Imagine a person, student, used to sell ready-made garments, used to make ready-made garments. Today he says, sir, I'm selling mask. Danda chalu hai. Rota nahi hai. You know? So, the changes in the environmental forces often require businesses to make modifications in the existing strategies and bring out new strategies. Strategic change is a complex process and it involves a corporate strategy focused on new market, products, services, and new ways of doing business. Now, what are the steps to initiate strategic change? Very, very, very important. Steps to initiate strategic change, the first point they say, recognize the need for change. Then create a shared vision and institutionalize change. Beta, please listen, this is very interesting. Question is what, students? what are the steps necessary to bring about a change or to initiate a change? First thing, listen what I'm saying now. Beta strategy formulation, say it all started. Strategy formulation was made by the people at the top level, or what, come on, tell me, people at the corporate level. Then implementation. Suppose implementation, people who wanted to do implement, they are doing the work properly. But still we are not able to achieve the target. Now imagine the worker in the company will not say, sir, we are not able to achieve the target. Let us change this. People will slap him. समझ में आया ना? घर में बच्चा big decision is to be taken. Imagine. So that big decision, imagine Niyati's house. Niyati will not say. Mom and dad will decide ना. Okay, बराबर है. Yes or no? So beta, be very clear. Niyati can just put a suggestion. That also very secret. Imagine in a company there is Ratan Tata sitting in the corporate office and there is a worker in Pune making nano car. He says, "साला कार दिखता नहीं है रास्ते में, बिकता नहीं है, तो change लाने का है." Worker saying, people will slap him, गप्पस, पागल है, येड़ा साला क्या है, gone mad. तो क्या करना चाहिए? Whose brain it should come, रे भाई, I've gone wrong, I have to change. It should come in the mind of Ratan Tata. It should come in the mind of the boss. What? Tell me first. The need to, बोलो बोलो क्या? The need to change. ए समझ में आ रहा है? अरे बोलो तरुण, understanding ना? So what I said, recognize the need for change means what? When something has gone wrong, it has gone wrong. I did that. So the bosses has to kill their ego and tell, oh my God, I thought it will be like this, but the situation went wrong. Ratan Tata should say, na, कि I thought people will buy a car of 1 lakh rupees. I thought my car would be the cheapest car. I thought people will love this car, but I'm sorry, I've gone wrong. The first thing, the bosses should realize the need to change. One more example. One company is there by the name Nokia. Nokia, right? Nokia, bacha, the owner of the company, and mind you, you should be aware of this. The owner of the company was knowing that 70 to 75% of the sale of mobile phone was Nokia phone. Very happy. That time Bill Gates told him, okay, dear, I'll give you $1 billion. Take it. And I'll give you software for 5 years, free of charge. Your all phones should use my software. That time owner of Nokia thought what? Pay attention. Okay, Nokia phone sells not because of the software, but because of the durability of Nokia phone. Meaning what? The Nokia phone is tough. That is why it is so. And bacha, in 3 months' time, Samsung came with the Android phone, which was more user friendly. And what happened? People started buying phones not because of their durability, but because of the usability. How? The owner of Nokia, what he should do? He should understand now, oh my God, I made a blunder. Someone gave me $1 billion and I put the faith of the company for a toss. So first thing, bacha, the boss should realize the need to change. If you continue in the old ways, how business was done in the past, beta, you will not survive. Now understand, huh? Ratan Tata, Nano, sales, second year, 1 car. So first he said, I'm sorry. Now what we should do? When Ratan Tata comes and tells us people now what we should do, he is asking the people what we should do. So these people say, sir, we should discontinue making nano, and with this particular machines now, we can make other cars, somewhat different, better cars, and we'll not sell it for 1 lakh, but we'll charge more. The same thing Ratan Tata had in his mind also. But Ratan Tata did not dictate that. In fact, he asked the people to give their opinion. When people give their opinion, na bacha, it is called as shared vision. Please understand. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Shared vision. Nihal, what is shared vision? I said, Ratan Tata comes and asks the people what we should do. These people say, sir, same machines we can use for making another car. Oh, great. So same machines we can use for making another car. There is a shared vision. So exam mein question was asked, what is shared vision versus vision shared? Very easy. When I do something wrong and then I come for you with then when I come students and ask the employees what we should do, they give me a suggestion, shared vision. But imagine I've done something wrong, then I come and say we have to do this now. Oh, so again I'm commanding. People will not have got respect for me because that is the vision shared. The boss is sharing his vision with the people. Rather, the boss should accept what the vision of the employees now. ए समझा कि नहीं समझा नियति? तो विजन शेयर का मतलब बेटा, नियति बॉस से कम नहीं की, नियति ने गलती की, नियति अभी आके बोलती है ऐसे करो. So vision share. But if Niyati is asking the people what we should do and they say that is shared vision. And last point is students, institutionalize the change. Institutionalize the change means what? Now whatever is decided, whatever decided, we'll discontinue Nano, we'll start Tata, Tiago and Tata Tigor. So that car production will start. That is the new change. That is institutionalize the change. We'll read this, but it's easy. Steps to initiate strategic change. See what it says? Recognize the need for change. Do environmental scanning. I told you, beta, people working in the company start saying, sir, we are making nano, but there are no nanos in the road. Previously, when we made Indica car, there were many Indica cars on the road. Now it is not there. So do environmental scanning. That means try to find out in the market what is happening. Try to know from the people what they have to say about nano. So people would say, what nano? Sitting inside is so difficult. What nano? When you sit inside the nano car, you get the feeling you're sitting in an auto rickshaw. Only it's a closed auto rickshaw. Why closed auto rickshaw? Because the engine is behind. In the car, where is the engine? The engine is in front, na? Hey, bolo beta. So, Sala, you get a feeling of sitting in an auto rickshaw. The auto rickshaw vibrates. Nano also vibrates. Then there was one particular nano car which caught fire in Gujarat. So, bacha, that added fuel to the fire. So, do environmental scanning, SWOT analysis, and recognize where the lacuna, the problem lies, and scope of exchange exists. Sorry, scope of change exists. Create a shared vision. Shared vision, come on, beta, ek kaam karo. Write here those two examples which I said. Come on fast. What the examples did I told you? One was Nokia. And the other is what? Nano. Create a shared vision to manage change. What is shared vision? I told you, come on, tell me. Don't come and now command. We have to do like this. Shut up. Now let the people tell. Beta, what? People also are important, na? Agreed? Yes or no? तो देखो क्या लिखा है senior managers need to constantly and consistently communicate the vision, not only to inform but also to overcome resistance through proper communication. Strategy implementers have to convince, come on, all those concerned that the change in business culture is not superficial or cosmetic. That means the change we are bringing, come on, is for real. It's not cosmetic. And last is what, come on, institutionalize the change. What is institutionalize the change, students? The new change, what we have brought should become the new habit. So, creating and sustaining a different attitude towards change is essential to ensure that the firm does not slip back into old ways of thinking or doing things. ये बेटा समझ में आया ना? Not again how nano was made, that same mistake will make now. Change process must be regularly monitored and reviewed to analyze the after effects of change. Any discrepancy or deviation should be brought to the notice of person concerned so that necessary corrective actions are taken. Abhi, this question is there. Kurt Lewin change management process. Abhi, in the exam when they ask strategic change for 5 marks, please listen. Then what we just now studied is incomplete. You have to mention this also. Kurt Lewin change management process. Now, beta, what he says now, try to understand, please. थोड़ा समझो तो अच्छा है, please. It's like this black color का पेन अच्छा लगता है. See, Kurt Lewin's model of change. सुनो, हर्षिता, listen. क्या बात करें मम्मी से? नाश्ता करने का है? Okay, Kurt Lewin's model of change is what? It's like this. See, Kurt Lewin says something like this, students. Change process should have 3 elements. First is unfreeze. Next is change. And third is refreeze. I know this, so it's very easy. खाली आप लोग समझो ध्यान से. First, I'll explain to you in this literal meaning what is unfreeze, change, and refreeze. Then, bacha, according to what management thinker says. Take the simple example. We are studying what? I formulated strategy, I implemented strategy, but I'm not able to achieve my objectives. Or I'm not able to reach where I should have reached. So there is need for change. Now to bring that change, what is needed? What is needed, student, is the change in the thinking of people. Change in the way they were doing the work. The perceptions have to be changed. Their work culture has to be changed. For that, he has given 3 points: unfreeze, change, and refreeze. Now listen what I'm going to say. The literal meaning is like this. Imagine Tarun ka example I'll give, and it's, don't take it in the wrong sense, just a simple case. So when dad comes home late in the night, tired, 9:30, 10 o'clock, he says, I'm very tired today. Tarun, get for me a glass. Get a bottle. You understood which bottle I'm saying. And then dad says, get ice for me. नियति समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? डैडी को ग्लास चाहिए, अर्शिता राइट, बॉटल चाहिए और आइस चाहिए. अभी इमेजिन तरुण comes and Tarun brings that glass, the bottle and the ice. Now ice which he has brought, student, is square in shape. Dad says, Tarun, I don't want ice cube which is square in shape. I want a ice cube which is circular in shape. Now, Imagine that square ice which is there. What Tarun does, Tarun takes a hammer and he starts cutting that ice so that he'll make it circular. Not possible, na beta. Why not possible? Because if he starts doing that, the ice will get melted. It will become water. So what is it that he has to do? He has to unfreeze. Unfreeze means what? Very simple. Don't start breaking that ice. Next day, he should have what? Come on, water. Change. Put it in a cube which is circular in shape. And next day, when dad comes and says, see that it's ready, the circular cube. So, beta, human beings now, when they were working in an organization, they have some opinion about the work, they have an idea of how to do the work, and they used to do the work in a particular manner. But we were not able to achieve our objectives with that. So we have to change that working attitude now. So what Kurt Lewin says, first unfreeze that. That means whatever ideas you have in your mind of doing the work now, remove that from your mind. That old thing which you have is not working. So now unfreeze, remove everything. And now put the new order. So change. And once you start following the new instructions, then refreeze. Refreeze means what? Now you get the way how the work has to be done. So, bacha, unfreeze. Unfreeze mein, you know, your book says, imagine, take an example, bacha. Suppose this page is there. Harshita comes to work and she feels these are the things what are written over here I have to do. And I tell her to change. Isse nahi chalega. So what she does, she starts writing on this Kurt Lewis, on that. Then, Becha, when you write something on that, will it be visible properly? No. So what happened? Harshita says, so wait, let me first wipe out all this. So what this girl does, she wipes out all this. Ye dekho mita diya. Now students, what you are doing, this part was what, come on tell me, unfreezing. Now you write what you want. Change. And then what you have written, that becomes the new order of the day. So that is what Kurt Lewin says should be the change management process. Kindly pay attention. See, remove that Kurt Lewin. क्या बोलता अंकल देखो. Kurt Lewin change management process. देखो first one बेटा इधर लिखा ना. Unfreeze the situation. Change the new situation or changing to a new situation. And third point is refreezing. Okay, now we'll read this in detail and mark this as very important. See, first, unfreezing the situation. What it says, individuals or organizations shall be aware of the necessity for change and prepare people for such a change. So why a change? Come on, all of you tell me. Because the previous method we were doing the work, that method is not giving good results or proper results. So there's a need to change. Changes should not come as a surprise to the members of the organization. So I should not tell to the people all of a sudden, this is what you need to do. I have to prepare them. Example, imagine in a bank, please listen. There are 40, 50 people who are working. And bacha, these 40, 50 people are working and they are all writing ledger, cash flow, trial. Hey, Buddha, start learning computer. Hey, Hana, start learning computer, start understanding how to do computerized accounting. I remember it said Sam, Dam, Dand, Ved. Sam matlab you tell them, Dam matlab give them the money, Dand matlab punish them, Ved matlab nikalo bar. Do that. Because beta, when you change, you are not supposed to keep the people who are what, come on, misfit in the organization. Imagine for taking of lectures, I'm sitting at home and taking lecture. 32 years of my teaching student, I used to stand on the platform, take lecture, have lot of fun, बहुत मस्ती करता था, बहुत पढ़ाता था, बहुत मजा आता था. But today I'm doing this, I have to adjust to this new change. Na? If a teacher is adamant, no, I will stand on the platform and deliver lecture. JK sir will say, कैसा करेगा? चला इधर लॉकडाउन है, am I right? इधर लोग मारते, पुलिस पीछे मारती है जोर जोर से. You imagine you walk there down on the road as such, they'll hit you with that stick, and then you have to go to the doctor. Why they hit so badly? तो क्या करना है? नहीं करो ऐसा. तो बच्चा imagine unfreezing is the process of breaking down the old attitudes. Ledger mat lik buddha, cash balance, cash book mat lik buddhi, right? So breaking down old attitudes and behavior, customs and tradition. So let's just start with a clean slate. This can be achieved by making announcements, holding meetings, and promoting the ideas throughout the organization. So, beta, you do this and convey this to the people. Okay, this change we want to bring. Then changing to new situation. Changing to new situation means what? You told the people start learning computers. You paid them the money. Now give them 3 months time. 3 month time is over. Now change to a new situation. You know, you expect people in India, you tell them to do like this, they will do like that. You know, when you tell people after 8 o'clock, no one should move out of the house, then ladies in our building will say, hey, Vandana, 8:30 we'll both go out and see if anyone is there out or not. Arshida, barabar hai na? Samajh mein aaya na? So government has put a lockdown after 8 o'clock. Ladies in our complex would tell each other, hey, 8:30 now we'll go out to see whether there is anyone out loitering as such. So kya hai? Ye India hai. You tell people to learn computers and imagine they'll start learning tomorrow. Itna aa gaya? Oh, impossible. So after 3 months, what to do? Compliance. Compliance means what? You become strict. A person comes and he's not still using the computer. तो बच्चा if he's not using the computer, tell ना बुड्ढे क्या करता है रे, तेरे को पैसा दिया ना, we gave you the money ना, we gave you the time ना, you should have learned by this time. So how to change to a new situation? Compliance. Strictly enforcing the people. Please work. If you do the work properly, we'll reward you. So they should have the feeling if I work properly, I'll be rewarded. If I don't, I'll be punished. So बुड्ढे को डराओ. The punishment strategy. The reward and punishment strategy of a Buddha bad behavior. Fear of punishment, actual punishment, or actual reward seems to change behavior for the better. Then what identification? 50 people in the bank. 20 people are working properly. So identify them. And then students appreciate them. Then give them financial rewards. Then internalization. Then bacha, if from 50 people, 20 people have learned account, then what to do with the 30 people? Bye bye. Bye bye bye. Simple. Now we don't want those 30 people as such. Why? Because what work previously 50 people were doing, now 20 people can do that work with the computer. So beta, internalization. And see the last part. Refreezing. Refreezing means what? Now this is the new way of behavior. So from the 20, if anyone retires, someone leaves, then the other person who will come will have to work like him. So see, refreezing occurs when the new behavior becomes a normal way of life. The new behavior must replace the former behavior completely for successful and permanent change to take place. In order for the new behavior to become permanent, it must be continuously reinforced and policies should be prepared so that this new acquired behavior does not diminish or extinguish. Conclusion, and this is important. Change process is not a one-time application, but a continuous process due to dynamism and never changing. And I said in one of my lectures, we take a bath every day. So we are supposed to be receptive to the changes happening in the environment and change in our business should be brought. If we don't change with the changing times, then we will find difficult to survive. So the process of unfreezing, changing, and refreezing is a cyclical one and remains continuously in action. I'll give you 2 3 minutes. So please go through this, all of you. Very important. Okay. Come on. Any doubts, beta? We are all of you understood? Explain refreezing once again. Okay, beta. Refreezing. I'll explain. Pay attention. See, first I said 50 people in the bank. Whoever has written that, 50 people in the bank. We told them to start learning computers. Out of 50 people, 20 people did what? Come on, learned. So that was a change. But 20 people are working. And now when the 20 people are working, this is the new way of working. So I wanted computerization. Computerization has come in the bank and people are working like that. Now I had a big premise. I will give away that. I'll take a small premise because work can be done by 20 people. So refreezing means what? This way of writing accounts in a bank with 20 people becomes a new way of life. So this is a change thing as such. Got the point? इससे क्या होगा बेटा? इससे ये होगा कि I will not have to employ so many people. My salary bill of the employees will become less. The rent which I had to pay for that particular premises becomes less. And work becomes faster. Okay, no problem. Understood now? Now, next point, strategic control. अभी प्लीज अर्शिदा पे अटेंशन, बाद में बात करो. मम्मी से क्या बात कर रही है? इडली इडली डोसा रेसिपी यू टॉकिंग अबाउट? नहीं ना? पे अटेंशन. Strategic control. Strategic control में बेटा what do you have? Operational control, management control, premise. It's very big, but can't help it now. And then implementation. I'll finish this part today. Pay attention to this. Listen. आता है मेरे को. हाँ, तुम लोग सुनो बेटा. What is strategic control? निहाल, ठीक है? समझ में आया? तो बोलो change. Why change? Tell me why change? Because if I do the work the way I was doing, I was not able to achieve what I wanted to achieve. That is why change. Now, beta, what is this strategic control? You'll find it is somewhat related to strategic change, but the interpretation is a bit different. See, first thing we used to say in our management function mein, one of the function of management was control. So I remember in management I used to say control basically means looking back. So what is strategic control? Very easy. Strategic control also means strategically looking back. to ensure that I'm in the right direction, at the right place, at the right time. See, now listen. I'll give you an example. Beta, you can note down this, please. Huh? There'll be a bit confusion in change and in control. See, again, it starts with this strategy formulation is done. Great. After strategy formulation, strategy implementation starts. Okay. After implementation, you say from here, I want to go till here. Once I reach here, then I'll go up. The process is there. Now, beta, this is point A. So you tell that in 1 month time, maybe in 1 year time, strategy formulation and implementation, if I do properly now, I'll be able to reach point D. So you were at point A, you say I'll be able to reach point D. Great. So Acha, you start working. And then what you realized, for 1 year you worked. And in 3 months time, student, your bosses says, let us see whether we are going in the right direction. To bola, yes, sir. We are going in the right direction. The question is, where we have reached, pay attention. So imagine I was supposed to go to reach from A to D, but I've reached here A to B only. So Nihal, what it means, bacha, I should have gone from A to D, but I've reached only from A to B. So there is a need, come on, tell me, to look back. Why look back? Because I couldn't reach where I wanted to reach. And bacha, this looking back is nothing else but strategic control. So in the exam, a question will be asked, pay attention. If I've reached from A to D and I wanted to go from A to D, then is there a need for control? Then there is no need for control. Why? Because I wanted to reach a particular destination, I've reached there. Requirement is there, bacha, when I don't reach that particular point. Abhi, please suno beta, what I'm going to say now. When we made a strategy, so formulation was done by the people at corporate level, by the people, come on, tell me, at business level, and implementation was done by the people, come on, tell me, at jalli fast, tell me, at functional level. So this pyramid was formed. All of you, bolo beta, Anna, pyramid was formed. So who were the people who made formulation, implementation, corporate, business, and functional level? Now these all were involved, and I've reached from A to B. The question is, who is responsible for my not reaching there? समझ में आ रहा है? Why we did not reach? Always remember, in India, na, there is always a tendency to put the burden on smaller, poor people. Like what? Imagine in your house, say you are in the kitchen and you are having a glass, you know, a glass is such, you drink water and it falls down. So Nihal would say, Mom, I did not do that, younger brother did that. So when mom wants to hit, whom she'll hit the younger brother. This is very common, bacha. Some problem with the pen, with book as such, he's done something wrong. He's using the TV and the TV is not functioning properly. He's spoiled it. He said, no, this my younger sister did it. So in India, it's very common that we put the burden on the younger, the poor, the downtrodden people. But what's a management? Here they say, nine. Who is responsible? You can't say only the functional people are responsible. Responsibility has to be taken by everyone. Bacha, please remember. Today the thinking is, if something good happens now, everyone wants to enjoy the cake. Everyone wants to take the credit for the good. Then, Salah, if anything wrong happens, bolo, everything should pay the price for it. Great. So, chalo, tell me who should be held responsible? All. For that, functional level should do what? Pay attention. Operational control. Business level should do what? Come on, management control. And corporate level should do what? Strategic control. Understand? So in the exam, if a question is a strategic control, introduction should be like this. Please note down this. I'm requesting you. This is important. This is the way you're supposed to write down. Please. नियति बेटा जल्दी बताओ क्या लिखेंगे? How do we start? Formulation, implementation. Point A, I want to go to point D. I've reached at point B, right? And when I'm at point B, that means I'm not able to achieve my target. So I should look back. Who should be held responsible? It is not to punish anyone, but we need to know now from where there is something wrong. It can be corporate level, business level, functional level. Control at the functional level will be called as operational control, management control, and strategic control. Let's understand this. Please listen properly. लिख लिया ये सबने? You've written this. तरुण हो गया बेटा? ऋतिक कैसा है? फाइन, गुड. चलो बेटा, pay attention. Now see, understand properly. Strategic control focuses on dual question, whether the strategy is being implemented as planned. So beta, when I'm not getting the result, then there are doubts that comes in your mind. Okay, is strategy being implemented as planned? How I thought, am I going properly? And the results produced by the strategy are those intended. So I wanted to reach from A to B. I've reached only till point B. Something is wrong, na beta, right? So primarily there are three types of organizational control: operational control, management control, and strategic control. Abhi please yaad rakho beta. Operational control is the control at what functional level? See this part. Then comes management control at the business level, and then comes what? Strategic control. Abhi, please listen. I don't know why first always students I feel If something is going right now, the top bosses takes all the credit. So I feel when something goes wrong, they should take the responsibility. Niyati बरोबर છે? They should take the responsibility. They should not tell the smaller people कि नहीं you are responsible. गलत है ऐसा. तो इसके लिए first we'll study what is strategic control and what are the types of strategic. Please listen. This is not easy, beta. So three controls: strategic, business, and functional. So first we'll study strategic control. Please understand. Strategic control is a control brought by whom? Tell me fast. Is a control brought by what? Corporate. See, four types of strategic control. First is premise control. Second, student, strategic surveillance. Third is special alert controls. And fourth is students implementation. बहुत ज्यादा है और बेटा आपको आना चाहिए. अभी सुनो, मेरे को आता ही है, ध्यान से समझो. First, I said we should concern ourselves with strategic control. Strategic control के अंदर first control we have is something called as premise control. Okay, boys and girls, please pay attention. What is premise control? It is something like this. Beta, imagine I am the person at the corporate level and we are 7, 8 of us. So we formulate strategy. When we formulate some strategy, now, we make strategy on the basis of some, come on, what I've written over here, on the basis of some assumptions. So imagine, beta, all of you think properly. Strategy formulation was done, let us say, on January 2020. Implementation of it starts in the month of June 2020. So they were making strategy, and strategy was almost ready. Now, June 2020, they start working on the strategy. And what happens? Strategy is not giving the results. Why? So first, we held responsible on corporate level. What corporate level should do? They should do premise control. Premise control में, I said when they made strategy, the strategy was made with some assumptions, with some particular things in their mind. Now, those assumptions which were made in Jan 2020 may become, come on, tell me, wrong in June 2020. Example, Jan 2020, bacha, when this particular strategy was made, who was knowing that there will be corona? Who was knowing that there will be a pandemic in the country? Who was knowing that there will be a lockdown? Pay attention, please. We were not knowing this. And we made a strategy. What strategy? Okay, we will sell in the country this much quantity. Pay attention. This much quantity of our goods. What goods? Imagine I'm making sports shoes. I'm making ready-made garments. Please understand. So I'm in the business of making what? Apparels. I'm in the business of making sports shoes, socks, laces, and pandemic happened. My formulation said what? I should increase the sales 10% every year. Cut that. June 2020, I start implementing. And by the time students, Jan 2021 comes, I realize, boss, shoes good quality we made. Am I audible now? ये बेटा सुनाई दे रहा है ना? Listen, pay attention. I said 1 year pandemic, corona. My son was telling me now this 7:30 the chief minister will come and announce a major lockdown. Now, bacha, imagine in this situation, if a company is not able to sell the goods, ready-made garments, let us say any particular stuff as such, what went wrong? What went wrong is not the people at the lower level students who did anything wrong. Problem was what? Our assumption was what? Population is rising, demand will rise, income of the people is rising. But now people are sitting at home. They are not getting salary. Acha, those who are getting salary also, they don't want. What they don't want? They don't want to buy sports shoes. They don't want to buy these particular stuff. Why? There's no need for these things. So, bacha, first thing that you have to undergo is what? Premise control. I said premise control is the assumptions. The assumptions that you have made, find out whether they hold good or not. Ratan Tata made a nano car. Now, what he thought, my car will be the cheapest car in India and people will buy. In fact, Bajaj introduced a car which was much more cheaper than that car. But then people did not like the quality of that car. There. So many a times, students, you make some assumptions and those assumptions only don't hold good. Sorry, in that situation, students, what would happen? Your strategy will fail. So why your strategy failed or did not help you to achieve the objective, bacha? Because there was some problem with the assumptions with which you made the strategy. See this. Premise control. Understand? A strategy is formed on the basis of certain assumptions or premise about the complex and turbulent organizational environment. Over a period of time, these premises may not remain valid. Premise control is a tool for systematic and continuous monitoring the environment to verify the validity and accuracy of the premise on which strategy has been built. It involves monitoring environmental and industry factors. So, everything you try to monitor, environmental industry factors, micro, macro, right? It is neither feasible or desirable. So everything can't be. So whatever you can, please monitor those assumptions with which you made the plans, whether they are still right, holding it or not. Then strategic surveillance. Please listen, beta. See, what is surveillance supposed to be? Like this. You know, क्या हो रहा है ये? Yeah. Chalo, pay attention. I'm sorry for this. See, bacha, strategic surveillance, I'll tell you like this. You know, Bombay mein, I don't know Bangalore student, Bombay mein, Saturday evening, after 9:30, when we move out, so most of the places we find what? There is too much of police bandobast. Bandobast means what? There are many police authorities standing at different place. And suddenly students, they'll ask one of the drivers, person who's driving the car now, come out, and they ask them to put that particular pipe for that breathing analyzer to know whether it's drinking and driving. Achha, why that is done? So that we don't have many accidents. So what is the police doing at that point of time? Surveillance. So surveillance, students, is not on the basis of some particular assumptions you have in mind. But normal students ensuring that in the city there is no problem as such. Like people now, Bombay mein bacha, there is lockdown, but Ola Uber is running. We can take our own cars as such. I want to go for the vaccination. I want to send someone for the vaccination. Then, bacha, they are there in every corner. They'll ask you where you want to go. What is that happening? Surveillance. So, like police does surveillance, corporate level people should also do surveillance to know what is new happening in their business, what changes are taking place. How to know that? Read newspapers, listen to the news channels, read business magazines, read the interviews given by big businessmen as such. See what changes they are doing. Some days back, I think I told you all, if you remember, in one of my lectures, Ratan Tata had a meeting with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is meeting students, meaning one person to went to the extent of saying what? He is buying Tesla company. So, bacha, people did not have a doubt that he'll buy Tesla company. Why? All of a sudden, one day he bought Land Rover, Jaguar. So, someone said he'll buy Tesla also. But he did not buy Tesla. But maybe, bacha, that inference you can make now. What is he going to do? You know, he's meeting Tesla people as such. He's meeting Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the one who introduced electric vehicles in the country, in their country, students. So he must be getting some idea from them. That keep on doing. Because if I'm the owner of Maruti company, I should know what my competitors are doing. If I don't know what they are doing, beta, then one fine day they'll come with the electric car and I'll be found wanting in that particular field. I mean, I'll tell you, student, what kind of I do surveillance. Listen, I work in the share market. Share market mein bacha, I come to know that Tata Motors is coming with electric vehicles. Hyundai already has. Mahindra and Mahindra is coming with electric vehicles. So, beta, what happens? Think there is a company in India which makes the engine of the car. Now, bloody, if a car will be running on battery, then electric car students will not have an engine. So, Niyati, should I buy shares of a company which makes engine? Bolo beta kya? Engines will not be needed. So, what I have started doing? I have started buying shares of Excite company. Amaron, there's another company, student, which makes batteries. Today, batteries will be needed for driving the car. I mean, imagine, so that kind of surveillance you have to keep on doing. To know what is happening around. To know, is there something that is coming that will affect my business? Then special alert control. Special alert control is what? Very simple. Imagine there is a company LG, there is a company Samsung. These companies say, sir, our washing machine, the refrigerators, we are not able to sell. So we have formulated, implemented, we made good products, not able to sell. Then one particular person says, idiot, there's a lockdown. Idiot, all the shops which sell these particular products are closed for more than 6 months now. So when there is a natural calamity, then bacha, 10 out of 10 times you'll find you'll not be able to achieve targets. When there is, imagine a man-made calamity like the Wuhan crisis, what is going on over here. So to know the impact of these natural calamities, war between countries, there are two countries, they fight with each other, Iran and Iraq. And in Iran and Iraq, if they keep on fighting with each other, students, will people go out in the market and buy washing machines? No, no. So sale nahi hoga. It's as simple as that. Then implement. First, if you want, we'll read this, students. Strategic surveillance. It involves general. Please be very clear in the exam. If they ask the premise control, so premise control and strategic surveillance, what is the difference? In premise control, it is what? Special monitoring. Special monitoring of what? Of the assumptions that we make. Strategic surveillance, where it is general monitoring of various sources of information to uncover unanticipated information having an impact on the organization. See, reading financial and other newspapers, business magazines, meetings, conference. So all these things you should do. Why? You're supposed to keep your eyes and ears open. What others are doing, you should know. Otherwise, bacha, you will be left behind. Simple as that. See, this point is important. Premise control is with the focus on assumptions. There I said. Surveillance control is without specific focus. It's general monitoring of environment. Like generally, I give in this case premise control example of that particular company. Kodak. Kodak company used to always have a feeling people will want to take photographs, so they'll have to take the reel, put it in the camera, develop it, then make albums, and then preserve it. They thought that will always remain. But a pagal, Samsung is coming with digital cameras. I said, nahi chalega. Are idiot, why do you think like that? Nahi chalega. Beta sab chalega. Be very clear. Anything new, people will buy. And if you don't change, where is Kodak? I told you in one of my lectures. This company applied for bankruptcy. 1 year it was in the Fortune 500 company. Next year it became bankrupt. Why? Wrong premises. You should remember, Bacha, this life is a race. Every step you have to take, seeing what others are doing, and you have to be ahead of others. And if you say, no, I'm contented, I want to remain where I am, तो मर फिर तो विसर्जन कर देगा तेरा. Then you have no right to live this life. Always remember, I keep on saying, bacha, I want. They say, na, you may be born poor, that is not your fault. You die poor, that is your biggest fault. Why? If I'm not happy, I want to cry, I'll cry in my Mercedes. I'll not cry on the road. Kya karne ka? Am I right, Niyati? Special alert control, student, I said natural calamities, war between countries. So which at times unexpected events may force organization unexpected to reconsider the strategy. These control help organization to cope with these eventualities, form crisis management teams to handle the situation. Sudden changes in government change. Imagine one day Modi ji became the prime minister. He comes in the night at 8 o'clock and says, Mitro, oh my God. Mitro, when he said students all 500,000 rupees note demonetization. So strange. All Gujaratis, Marwadis used to say Mara Modi, Mara Modi. Mara Modi means my Modi, my Modi. And what Modi did, Mara. Because all 500,000 rupees note who used to have? Only the Gujaratis and the Marwadis. Unko hi Mara. So imagine, he comes, he brings a new policy. He comes, students, and what we did, imagine we attacked Pakistan. So there is a Tata company which used to sell sumo vehicles to them. Order is gone. Natural calamities, terrorist attack, unexpected mergers and acquisitions by industrial disasters and other such events may trigger an immediate intensity of strategy. So first I said premise control. Then I said, come on, tell me what students, strategic surveillance. Then special alert control. Special alert. Okay, why my strategy is not giving result? Maybe some particular natural calamity, some disaster. Or I am Vodafone, I was selling goods as such, Geo entered the market. Geo came like a calamity for us. Then bacha implementation. Implementation control is student working में. I'm facing some problem. So what I'm supposed to do? Monitor the strategic thrust and milestone reviews. Understand? Monitoring strategic thrust and milestone review, I'll put it like this. Niyati says, sir, CA final, I want a rank. Great. So is she studying properly? Implementation control. Then monitoring strategic thrust. That means what efforts a chartered accountant should have put. Is she putting that effort? That is monitoring. Then shouldn't a parent start saying, Niyati, CA foundation course, so many marks you got. That's the milestone review. CA inter, this much you should get. Then CA final you will clear with that. Like I have to go from Bombay to Bangalore. Let us say I come in my car. So, bacha, first I say I have to take this route. So, if I'm taking the proper route, that is monitoring strategic thrust. Then, bacha, I say first from Bombay I'm leaving. Let us say at 10 o'clock in the morning. 1:30 I should reach Pune. Okay, 180 kilometers I've covered. In 3 to 4 hours I've reached Pune. Then, bacha, from Pune I'll go here, and maybe in the evening or in the night I'll reach Bangalore. So that could be milestone reviews. Now these all review students or control were a part of what come on strategic control. The strategic control, after that students you have what come on, tell me management control, and tell me fast operational control. Abhi suno please. Operational control is the control at functional level. Imagine the owner of the company say, I want to make my company the leader in selling sports goods. I want my company to have maximum sales in the sale of sports goods. So big talks he makes. So worker will say what? Sir, let me do production properly. Logistics department will say what? First I should arrange the raw material. Finance department will say what? Come on, let me arrange funds properly. So, bacha, those people, workers at the lower level will be talking of control now, like stock control, production control, quality control, cost control, budgetary control. That control will come at which level? Come on, tell me, operational level. So this is micro in nature. Now logistics is just transportation. Now management may I'll be talking about supply chain management, procuring the raw material, ensuring every stage of production it is available in proper form, and then the customer gets it. That when we look at it, students, it becomes management. To see this, when compared with operational control, management control is more inclusive and more aggregated. So it's collective in the sense of embracing the integrated activities of a complete department, division, or even entire organization, instead of mere narrowly circumscribed activities or subunits. So it's not one particular department. We are talking about what students, entire departments of the organization. The basic purpose of management control is achievement of enterprise goals, short range and long range, in the most effective, efficient manner. Please go through this, students, all of you. Operational control. Operational control is important of this strategic control. Read that strategic control first, please. That should be clear. देखो उससे भेजा ये भी
देखो
बराबर है
इसका मतलब थोड़े पेजेस में ब्लैंक है वो मैं कर उसको बोल रहा हूँ फटाफट
ए बेटा दिस क्लियर तरुण समझ में आया कि नहीं अंडरस्टूड नियति बोलती नहीं है नियति कैसे देखती है घूर घूर के हाँ अंडरस्टूड ना चलो बेटा लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ द डे टुडे strategy audit. Then I think that's all we'll have for the day. Strategy audit. Strategy audit के अंदर what is important is this part, students, pay attention. One is need for strategy audit and Richard Rumel's criteria for strategy audit. This is very important, Richard Rumel's criteria. चलो मेरे को आता है ये, आज मैंने सुबह पढ़ाया था ये, pay attention. Let's understand. Say, I think tomorrow I have one lecture with you all students. Tomorrow lecture is there? No, which lecture you all have? Economics, law, okay. So maybe I'll have some other branch. Please listen students. Strategy audit. See, how do we explain this? Strategy audit, bacha, strategy control, strategic change, they all are on the same lines. So first, that should be very clear. And there's a very thin line of difference between all these three things. Now, what is strategy audit? Try to understand. See, beta, same way I'll start. Strategy formulation is done. Strategy implementation has started. Now, when you do formulation implementation, so you follow a path. Your idea is to achieve goals. Your idea is to achieve, come on, tell me, objectives. And when you achieve goals, ultimately you want to achieve the vision. So basically, you're going in that particular direction. Now what happens, beta? My formulation is perfect, I feel. Implementation is perfect. But my goals I'm not able to achieve. So same ho gaya bacha. Objectives I'm not able to get. So I'll not be able to reach and achieve my vision. That's a big problem. Now what? Now the question comes, please understand, we all know now audit is what? Checking whether the accounts are written correctly. Checking whether the accounts are showing true and correct opinion. You know, the balance sheet gives a true or fair idea about the financial position of the company. That is what, no, beta, auditing is. So here I am saying, sir, everything that should be done in paper we did, in practice we are doing it, but objectives we are not getting. So bacha, management thinker says there may be some problem in the formulation. There may be some problem in the implementation. So check whether the strategy that you had formulated is correct. Why? Because when you made the strategy, that time, pay attention, conditions were different. I said when you made the strategy, that time conditions were different. Now, when you're implementing the strategy, conditions are different. So there is a mismatch. And maybe because of that, what happens? You are not able to achieve your goals and objectives. So in the exam, a question can come when strategic audit. Obviously, when you are not able to achieve your goals and objectives. Then only. If you're able to achieve your goals, objective, vision, then there is no need to check the correctness. It means your child gets first rank and then you say you should do better. बच्चा सोचेगा ना पागल है क्या? Right now. Yes, Niyati, right now, after getting first rank, if the child's parents or the teacher say you should still do better, what else I should do? So you wanted to do something, you're doing it, but you're not getting your results. Then better these all things will come. Abhi, please listen. There is this uncle by the name Richard Rumelt. Please understand, beta, ye bahut important hai. He says, what is the reason that there are companies which continuously fail in achieving their goals and objectives. But remember one thing, there are some people who commit the same mistakes again and again. And when there are some people who commit the same mistakes again and again, they don't succeed, they fail. So Richard Rummel's criteria for strategic auditors, he says, you know why most of the time people or companies fail in getting the objectives is because there is no, pay attention, no consistency. मतलब क्या? So at times the management students makes strategies which are not consistent, meaning, understand, it can be understood in two different ways. In one particular year you say, okay, we have to increase sales. Second year you say, no, we should collect the money from our debtors within 1 month. So bacha, that means we should not give, chalo tell me, credit to the buyers. And bacha, when in 1 year you say increase sales, you said sell more, give three months credit to the customer. Now you are saying give credit of only 1 month. So bacha, what you are trying to do? You're contradicting yourself now. Hey, bolo beta, contradicting yourself matlab kya? On 1 year you said increase sales and bloody next year you are telling what? Come on, don't give more credit to the customers. Give them credit of 1 month or 15 days. If your strategies are inconsistent like this, then bacha, people in the company will be confused. कि कहना क्या चाहते हो भाई? You remember that film Three Idiots? Huh? तो कहना क्या चाहते हो भाई? What you actually want? Be specific. That's the problem, bacha. Second, many a time, bacha, people are not consistent in what they talk and what they do. It happens many a times. That means people, they talk something, they promise something, and they don't do that thing. So what is important for people? They should walk the talk. Walk the talk, take this example. Suppose there is a company, XYZN company. This XYZN company has a meeting of all its sales people. So all the sales people come, great. And the boss tells them, see, our target is every sales manager who's having 10 sales representative under him should achieve a sale of 15 lakh of rupees. Please understand, 15 lakhs ka sales you should get. Okay. So one sales manager, 10 sales representative, 15 lakh sales every month. Example is what we want. Then the boss says, I'll be very happy if you bring a sales of 20 lakhs. If you bring a sales of 25 lakhs. Take sir. Then one of the sales officers said, you will be happy. Will you make us happy? मतलब समझा, you will make us happy मतलब क्या sir? If we increase sales, will we get some commission besides the salary? He said, obviously. If you increase the sales above 15 lakhs by 5 lakhs, suppose 20 lakhs, then I'll give you commission of 10% on sales. That will be given to all of you. If you make sales of 25 lakhs, then again I'll give it 10. So this is what he talks. But many a time, bloody these big people, they don't walk the talk. Meaning what? Imagine the sales manager worked very hard, all the people in the department worked very hard, and bechara, what happened? They were able to achieve a sales of 30 lakh of rupees. अभी नियति मेरे को बोल बेटा 15 lakh sales तो they should have made. For that they are getting salary. Remaining 15 lakh rupees what they have made sale, what they were promised, 10% commission. Now when the time comes for the company to pay commission, what the boss does? Boss says, I was just fooling, yeah. Bola, acha, so you're a fool, that means. You got the point? Why you don't actually tell me, implement what you say? You lose respect from your people. And if you have such kind of bosses, then people would want to leave that company and go once they get an opportunity. They'll not trust the owner of the company. Abhi suno. Imagine, take this case, Tarun was working in this company. Tarun is a sales manager. Tarun was told 15 lakh sales, above that commission. Tarun brought a sales of 30 lakhs. Tarun says, give me 15 lakh rupees ke upar 10% commission. So he's just asking 1,50,000 rupees more. Boss refuses to give. So Tarun gets angry. Tarun shows his tantrums as such. He misbehaves with him. Very normal bacha. Anyone, young boy, he'll get angry. So what happens? He misbehaves with his boss. Today the problem in my country, bacha, there are many people available for job. So what boss does? He removes Tarun from job. Okay, fine. And Nihal is appointed in the company. Nihal is in need of job. Nihal comes. Nihal works. Now imagine, crooked people are always crooked, na? Na? Crooked people are always crooked in this episode. Who is the crooked person? The boss. The boss first told Tarun, 15 lakh sales, salary will be given on time. Above that, 10% commission. He gives that same promise to Nihal, 15 lakh rupees. Above that, I'll give you commission, 10%. Now, bacha, Tarun was still a bit silent. Nihal is not at all silent. He gets very angry. Sir, I brought a sales of 40 lakhs. Give me commission on 25 lakhs. He said, nine, I must take it. Now, you know what will happen? This kind of organization will never be able to achieve the vision. Thinking what? Pay attention. People are not good in the company. This is the common problem which bosses say, my people are not working properly. But the problem is what? It's not the people. It's this policy which is wrong. So please, bacha, you have to be consistent in your thoughts. You have to be consistent in your policies. You have to walk the talk. What you talk, you have to do. Most important point, if you feel the problem is because of the people, then you are wrong. Problem is not because of the people. Problem is because, come on, tell me fast, problem is because of your policies. Your policies are wrong. And bacha, if in a particular company there are some conflicts, imagine Tarun is also working, Nihal is also working. Tarun is working, Nihal is working, and boss gives some particular money to Nihal. Tarun is not getting, so they have conflicts between them. And their boss, suppose Mr. A is not able to solve this problem. And this problem comes to the attention of XYZ. So if such kind of conflicts comes to the attention of the owners of the company, then such companies will never be able to achieve their strategies. So let us see this strategy audit. Strategy audit, you can read this beta. Huh? I'll explain this part. What is the need of strategic audit? Audit is needed under the following conditions: when the performance indicators reflect that the strategy is not working, properly or is not producing the desired outcomes. Not when the goals and objectives of strategy are not being accomplished, when a major change takes place in the external environment of the organization, when the top management plans to fine tune. Let's say simple beta. Either they could say, listen please. What is Richard Rummel's criteria? First point it says consistency. A strategy should not present inconsistent goal and policies. Note down over there, students, inconsistent goals and policies में क्या बोला? 1 year the boss says, I want to increase sales. I'm ready to give more credit. And next year he says, I will give credit for only 1 month. So, bacha, inconsistencies. Second, you have to write what? Boss said, I'll give you 10% commission. And then he says, I did not promise so. Then he says, accounts are being written, we'll give you on time. They're liars as such. So, 3 guidelines help if organizational problems are due to inconsistent strategy. If managerial problems continue despite changes in personnel, be very clear. I said Tarun is there, Tarun leaves, Nihal comes. So manager problem continues despite changes in personnel. Now many people come and come, many new people come, old people leave. Turnover. Labor turnover is very bad. Like this, if there's labor turnover, bacha, then there will be no permanent good employees in the company. Such companies will never progress. See? And if they tend to be issue-based rather than people-based, strategies may be inconsistent. If success for one organization department is interpreted as failure for other, 1 year, imagine sales department says increase sales. And same year accounts department says reduce credit. So if one department has to achieve success, the other department will have to face a problem like that. Then bacha, there is inconsistency. If problems and policy continue to be brought to the top for resolution, then strategies may be inconsistent. So first thing, be very clear, reason, boss policies are not proper. Boss says something and he does something different. Then consonants. What is consonants? Very easy. See, beta, remember one thing. People who make strategies now most of the time are sitting in a particular air-conditioned office. They live in the world of luxury and they may not be having an idea of what is happening at the ground level. But you think of it. Rich people who travel in Mercedes now don't know what is the problem for people traveling in buses. Buses in Bombay are overcrowded. Getting in a train, student, is the most difficult job in Bombay. And somehow if you get in a train, students, in Bombay, then coming out of the train is a much more difficult task. Very difficult, bitch. So what happened? The owner sits in an air-conditioned cabin, travels in a Mercedes car. All his chamchas who are there, all his people who are with him now, they always show him the bigger, better side of the story. So he's not having an idea of the real things that are happening. He's not having an idea of the trends that are prevailing. If you do not know the trends, what is prevailing in the country, then bacha, your strategy will fail. Like I always give this example. One company which is supposed to make the best cars in the country, in the world I can say Mercedes. The Mercedes cars, best cars, German company. Aage suno. Second thing, bacha, Mercedes company which is there now. 1 year it came to the report saying what? Our sales have reduced. Oh my God. Mercedes, best cars, good company, sales have reduced. How come the sales get reduced? So what is the problem? So the other report stated that there is too much of sale of Audi, BMW, Land Rover, Range Rover. The question is, Suren, why Mercedes car sales decline? They asked for a report, and the report title was Consonance. Consonance states what? Sir, you make things which you like. You make things which you want to sell. High time that you sell things which the customer wants to buy. So Mercedes says we have the best engine, best looking cars. Well, sir, your car are sedan. Sedan का मतलब बेटा very big cars. And today's time, the young generation is the one who spends money to buy a Mercedes. They don't want to buy a sedan car, they want to buy a SUV car. The SUV car, Suren, is now the new taste of the season. Attack. So why it failed? Simple. Because you are giving to the people what you want to give. Give to the people what they want to buy. In our notes, I've given an example, students. Today's time, there are many coaching classes. And imagine tomorrow Niyati starts a coaching class, so she'll have to fight the competition. Bombay mein to bacha, every lane you go, there are 2, 3 coaching classes. Competition. Imagine in all this situation, one person does what? He takes a bigger premises and he starts a daycare center. Daycare center ka matlab bacha, today's time husband and wife both are working, and if they have a child, who will take care of the child? So they keep the child in a daycare. So children up to 5 years of age are kept over there. And imagine this particular person who started the daycare center, students, has more than 1800 children like that. Per student per year, I think, per child, per year, it takes approximately 75,000 rupees. That means per month it is 6,000 rupees. ये समझ में आ रहा है? And that business has started doing well. Great. So consonants. I start a restaurant in Bombay today. Imagine idli, dosa, vada, sambar. Sir, nahi chalega because there are many idli dosa sellers. I start a restaurant Chinese. What is that? Risotto, soto, kya? What is that? Shouldn't pastas? These things sells. Fast food. So consonants. I said as per the trends. Please remember. Feasibility. Why strategies fail? Because student, we try to do things which are not pragmatic. Practical. Like what? Imagine we've been able to achieve a growth till yet a company says 10% till now. And all of a sudden, student, the company says this year we'll get a growth of 30%. Ekku lagta hai. Unachievable. 74 years, students, we got a national income of $2.7 trillion. And Modi says next 3 years, next 10 years, I'll make India $5 trillion. Not feasible. So you're talking of things which are not practical. Talk things which are practical. Talk things which are pragmatic. Don't talk of irrelevant things as such. Imagine one of the child attending the lecture gets so impressed. He says, sir, in 1 year I'll become richer than Mukesh Ambani. तो उसको मारेंगे ना, चुप रहे बैठ जा, है ना? Is it so easy to become richer than Mukesh Ambani? So most of the times, bacha, what happens? Why we fail? Because we don't talk things which are feasible. And last is advantage. Advantage means what, students? We should always make a strategy that suits our strength. And many a time, students, we don't make strategy that suits our strength. We fail. Like I'll give you a best example, students. Uh, India and Australia is playing a cricket match, and they come to play cricket in India. So, Bacha, if you ask me what kind of pitches we should prepare, pitches that favor the spin bowling. Bolo Rehana. Why the spin bowling? Because we have good spinners in our team. Then who should play in a particular team? Fast bowler or spinner bowler? Spinners. Na? So, Bacha, many a times what we do, we don't see our strength. We see what the others are doing. And we fail. So, Bacha, that is the last point, advantage. Kindly go through this, students. And next lecture, whenever is there, I'll do the remaining part. Fine. Is this clear? Bolo re. Any doubts? Please ask me. I'll give you 2 minutes, 3 minutes ka time, 3-4 minutes. I'll take the revision lecture. Okay? Yes, anyone having a doubt, please tell me. Anyone is there? Any doubts? I'll wind up. Chalo, good night.